Rich Gonzalez from PrepCalTrack with Doug Souls, the coach at Great Oak High School in Temecula, California. Outstanding, maybe the best combined boys and girls program entering 2014 season. We're here at Baldwin Park, part of the Valley 5K run. It's kind of like the season is a month away, but I know things look very good on both the boys and the girls side. Let's first talk about the girls. Last year, state champs. This year, returned 4 of those top 7, including All-State or Destiny Collins. Teams 2, 3, and 4 in the state from last year returned 6 of their top 7. So definitely there'll be some challenges. So far, how's the summer gone, and what are your thoughts for the season coming up?
You know, this is probably the most talented we've been as far as just depth goes. We have a lot of really talented kids. So I think our goal is just to continue to do what we do every day. You know, you can't all of a sudden freak out and go, oh, well, you know, Davis is really good, so we have to change everything. I think we've probably cut back more than anything, just try to keep them a little bit healthier. And you know, I don't think there's that pressure to try to build anyone as much as we have in the past, because we have so many really good kids. I think at this point it's more, let's just make sure these guys are developing the way they're supposed to, slowly but surely, and when the time comes, unleash them. And we've got, you know, we graduated out to some really good senior girls. Yeah. We've got some really good sophomore girls that were freshmen last year that are surprising people and stepping in and taking some of those spots. So you know, when we run the math on it, we feel like we're probably a minute faster than we were last year at state. So we were 3 seconds off the state record, and we think we're going to be faster. So we're feeling pretty good about it, and if someone beats us, they're going to have to break state record to do it. So
far, what's been the challenge, if any, this summer so far as training goes?
On the girls' side, there hasn't been any. Yeah, we've been really good. The girls have been doing everything they've been asked to do. On the boys' side, we've got kids in different places. So, you know, some kids are still running 30, 40 miles a week, and other kids that are running 75 miles a week. And just depending on where their ability is and where their durability is, and, you know, kind of what they did over the summer, you know, got a couple of key guys that just didn't do much over the summer, so they're going to come on probably mid-season. We'll see all of a sudden, you'll be like, where'd these 2 guys come from? So I think just getting all the guys on the same page has been a bit of an issue compared to the girls, but yeah, the girls have been no issues training-wise. They're just very consistent in what we do, so it's been good.
So as far as your 4 returnees on the girls' side from last year, we've got obviously Destiny Collins, Maya Larson, is it Kiana Beatty?
Kiana Beatty.
Yep. Kiana Beatty. And our 4th one, eludes me for a second right now. Desiree, there we go. Anybody breaking into that pack right now?
Yeah, Evelyn Mandel is, you know, she and Kiana were pretty much stride for stride all through the track season in the 3200. She ran 11 flat last year as a freshman in the 3200 and has made a big jump this summer. So I think right now, if you look at it, Kiana and Evelyn are probably our 2-3 behind Destiny, probably considerably behind Destiny. She's probably a minute in front of our number 2 girl, but she's going to be up there in every race. So, you know, 2 and 3 though, we've got probably 4 or 5 girls that should be able to break 18 behind Destiny in a 5K at state. So, you know, we're figuring that we can get a group in that 1745 to 1750 range at state. We're going to be pretty tough to beat. So I would say Kiana's made the big jump up there, and then some of our seniors, Audrey Wallace has really made a big jump. She's running consistently up in that top group. And then last year we had a real issue with Emily Claus. She was running really well for us, and then she got mono. So she's back and she's running really well. So we've got a really good pack of girls that's up there. Our senior girls are running better than they've run the last couple of years. So, you know, depth-wise, I think we're looking really good. Okay. As far as the summer goes, has there been any mantra or sort of a message for the girls team, and what's been the focus? You know, it's interesting, because when I talk with the boys team about winning state, it's almost like we're trying to convince them they can do it. Mm-hmm. When we talk with the girls, it's, well, we know we can do it. Now, what do we need to do to make sure that we don't drop the ball on this? Right. So it's just a different feel with both teams. On the girls' side, you know, there really isn't a mantra other than, you know, I think our girls are very driven individually, and I think that they like each other a lot, so bring it together. But we haven't really found that unifying, like, you know, do it for this or do it for that. I think it's just continuing the legacy. I think they've seen what the kids in front of them have been able to do, and I think that's their goal, is let's be the team that continues what they're doing. And most of our top end kids this year should be back again next year on both sides, so I think they're excited about that as well. So on the girls' side, again, defending state champions, 4 back, and a very good group, so that they know what it takes. On the boys' side, the team finished, I believe it was 12th last year at state. Yeah. They barely made state. They look so good on paper coming back. You mentioned it's about the challenge of trying to convince them. How do you do that? Well, I mean, we have some really good top-end talent.
Yeah.
So really the number one goal for us with our boys this year is to stay healthy. We had our key kid last year, Tony Robinson, had a whole bunch of lower leg issues, and we just couldn't get him, as he's growing and he's changing and he's doing all these things, we just couldn't keep him healthy. No matter, 30 miles a week, we couldn't keep him healthy. So we're trying to really change some strategies training-wise with him, more cross-training and doing some different things to keep him healthy. And he's doing really well. He's not as in shape as the other guys right now, but he's not that far behind the other guys either. So we know talent-wise, once he's 100% fit, he's going to be a real monster. So that's the goal, is to just try to keep those guys healthy. And their goal, I don't set the goals for the team. The kids set the goals, and their goal is to win the state championship. And we know there are some monster teams out there. Warren, Dana Hills, Madera South. There's some really good teams that we got to take on. So the goal is to just say, hey, let's get 4 or 5 guys that are fast enough to go run in the top 15 at state. Do it, and then if someone can beat us, then they're really that good.
Mm-hmm. Now, once again, on paper, you guys look so good on the boys' side as well. I know you've got, obviously, Robbie Gleason coming back, Tony Robinson, Isaac Cortez. You have transfer coming in, Spencer Dodds out of Torrey Pines. And we talked about him a couple weeks ago. You mentioned he's fitting in quite well already.
Yeah, Spencer, he came in and he's a very focused kid, which for us has been really nice. We haven't gotten a lot of transfers. That's really the first major boy transfer we've ever had.
Oh, come on.
No, literally, in 11 years, that's the only guy we've ever had that's transferred in. And so, when you don't get transfers, you're not used to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there's a big difference in the way we train and from the school he's coming from. So just, I think adapting to that training change has been a bit of a challenge. Just physically, he's probably a little bit more tired than he's used to being, but he's a competitor. And he ran really well today at Baldwin Park, and I think as he really clicks, I think we'll see that big jump, and all of a sudden even the guys that are beating him now are going to go, wow, where did Spencer come from? So he's fantastic, really good kid, and couldn't ask for a better kid to come in. He's going to be really good this year.
Now, sometimes it's been difficult keeping some of the kids healthy on the guys' side because they're just wired differently. They really go after it all the time.
Right.
And then you've got a situation where you don't want them to do too much. You want them to overdo it, yet they also need to convince themselves that they're good enough, so they've got to perform during the season to have that confidence at the end. How are you going to try and balance that?
I think the best way for us to do it this year, and what we've tried to do is really put it on the kids to bond. I think they're really bonded this year. We had a great camp. The kids really like each other. And I think trying to get our captains to get rid of every team has that kid that goes, oh, I'm only going to do this today, or I'm only going to do that today. And I think trying to get them out of that habit of self-modifying. Because we try to modify if kids got pain in the leg or if they're feeling sick or whatever, the kids modify. But when kids get in the habit of modifying every day, that's when the performances suffer. So trying to get them to understand there's certain times where you modify and certain times that you don't. And I think we're starting to see that they're learning that. I've done some changes for the boys that I think training-wise have helped them as well. We're doing a little bit more cross-training with them, and we're seeing some of the benefits of that health-wise, which is good.
One thing that's a common thread with all championship teams is they have captains or seniors that take ownership. Who are your captains this year?
Really our top couple guys. I would say that the guy that really, 2 guys that really bought in last year that really drive the train is Isaac Cortez and Nick Doan. Those 2 kids had fantastic track seasons. Isaac was second in the 800, and Nick was at CIF finals, and Nick was second and third in his 2 races. So, I think they realize if we buy in, we do what we're supposed to do, the results will come. And so, I think they've done a great job looking at their teammates saying, just shut up and run. Just do what you're supposed to do. And we're seeing that result now. So it's good.
Girls program, boys program, different situations. On one hand, they know what to do. You have to make sure that they don't get too complacent. That means the girls. On the other hand, the boys they might not know what to do, so you got to crack the whip. Are you keeping your sanity through all this?
Yeah, at camp, this was the first year that we went up that every one of the kids did all the workouts and there wasn't any modification really. And so that's huge because usually kids get tired, they find reasons why they can't, or you've got kids that barely made camp and they're not ready yet. Our kids are ready, they're doing a great job with that. So with the girls, there's a lot of intrinsic motivation. I'm not having to tell them, you need to do this, you need to do that. 2011 was the year we kind of fell off our normal strategy, and it was because there wasn't a lot of intrinsic motivation. The girls, I think I wanted it more than the girls did, and this year I can guarantee you they want it more than I do. So I don't worry about the girls too much because they're ring chasers. They want to get a ring, and there's a couple of them
That's
that are
how all
at that
females
point.
are. They're all like.
Well, they want those state championship rings, and they will kill for them, and so you know, we're trying to get the boys in that same mindset that they're doing. And the good thing is, when I get around the boys, it's not me saying, "Hey guys, we can win a state championship." It's them going, "Well, we want to win a state championship, coach. Why are we doing this? And how is it helping us do that?" Asking a lot of questions, really trying to figure out what they can do to get better. Again, the leadership has been really solid, and I think that's huge.
Okay. The Baldwin Park Part of the Valley 5K, I know a lot of teams really go ahead and go hard here in a sense. It's a great conference builder on a fast course. Why do you bring your squad here? What's the main reason?
You know, what we used to do is we used to do the strategy of, okay, we'll start in September, and you know, it's a long season. And what we found was there was such a big block of training from beginning of July or whenever most teams start until September that freshmen would get bored and quit. Older kids would be not ready to race when the time would come because they'd lost motivation. So we give them this little carrot, you know, they run Coronado or they run here, and we find that they're a lot more motivated to come back and train because they're like, if I work harder, then I can run faster next time I race. So, you know, the kids set our schedule, and this is one that they like to have on there, and I think they want to go to Seaside this year, so we're going to have some changes to what we normally do, just because some of the older kids said, hey, let's mix it up a little bit. So, you know, and I always try to accommodate that, and I'm excited to see what it is they plan to do pans out. They're going to Nike Pre-Nationals. We're taking a big squad to Clovis this year, so, you know, it's different than what we've done, and you know, if they pick the meets, they're motivated to run the meets. Right. So that's what I've always found. If they set the goals and they pick the schedule, and I can guide them in that direction, then they can't say, "Oh, we don't want to go to that meet." Say, "You're the one that picked the meet." So that's been huge for us, and I think we're gonna see them run pretty well this year.
All right, that's one ingredient in the recipe for success. And again, Great Oak, Doug Stoll's doing a great job, both the boys and the girls program. Looking forward to 2014.
Thanks.